35, 40, 45 degrees, guys. I think it's just getting too damn hot in Thailand. Is it too hot to live in Thailand? Should we be going back home, or should we go and visit a different country to get out of this heat? Well, for some of you that live here, or some of that you may be visiting, in April and May time is some of the hottest temperatures right here in Thailand. They've gone up from 30 to 35, and today's temperature, today guys, is 40 degrees centigrade. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit for you strange Americans that do things in Fahrenheit, apologies. But I think it must be around over 100 or 100 plus, which is absolutely hot. Now, what are the alternatives of staying here? Well, one alternative for me personally, from someone from London, England, is to go back home. Now, do I really want to go back home? Well, the answer is no. And one of the reasons that I left the UK initially, other than to experience life, is the weather. The weather is absolutely crap. I mean, there's no way there's no beating around the bush here. The weather is awful. I think today must be in the range of 10 to 15. I wouldn't even say 15. That's just being exaggerating now. It must be around 10 to 12 degrees. But it's not just the temperature. It's the miserable, grey, wet, windy. You know, the mixture of those three together is just a horrible combination, and that's why we want to live here in Thailand, because the weather is absolutely gorgeous. Now, what I always said was I would never complain about the weather. I've lived in many hot countries before. I lived in Malaysia before, which absolutely gets really, really hot. I've traveled the world with really hot countries. I've been to Nigeria, which is extremely hot, and the population is so big and dense, it is just almost unbearable. And I've also lived in Thailand for a few years before as well. Plus, I've lived in the Middle East, which gets really, really hot, but the ecosystem there is you go from one building to the next building to the next building, and everything is aircon. You have cars, everything is crispy cold. Now, it's slightly different here in Thailand. Thailand is also extremely hot, but you do have those crispy cold places you can jump from, but you're also doing more walking, right? You do walk from place to place. There are cafes and restaurants which are open air, so you don't always move from one cold place to the next. So guys, Thailand has 77 provinces, and all of them are extremely hot at the moment. Aircon, the price of aircon has gone up. The price of electricity has gone up, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. However, guys, there has been newspaper article after internet article, loads and loads of articles you can see right here on the screen. Thailand has 77 provinces, and all of them right now are extremely hot. The government has been warning people about the heat and what to do when it gets really, really hot. The prices of electricity has gone up. There are several hacks that we can get into later, but right now it's just so damn hot. Official records in Thailand only started in 1958, and according to all these articles, this is record-breaking temperature. So today I'm going to give you 3 pieces of advice how to stay cool in Thailand. Now, the first piece of advice requires me to go to our favorite place, and you all know this place. You've all been there. If you've been here, you know it is the savior, the haven, the oasis of staying cool in Thailand. And yes, they are absolutely everywhere. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go and check it out. Right guys, we are here, and the place that I'm talking about is right by my left hand side here. This place has been open since the 1st of June in 1989. It is an institution in Southeast Asia, especially right here in Thailand and in other prominent countries around the world. Now, we all know what I'm talking about. Yes, 7-Eleven. Now, what you will realize about 7-Eleven is that there's so many of them. Not only that there's so many of them, they're all 24 hours, right? They have loads of convenience items in there. We regularly go there, I would say 2 to 3 times a day perhaps. Yes, the price is slightly more than your other convenience store. This is the best place, in my opinion, if you're in trouble to stay cool, is this place. This place is absolutely freezing, so let's go inside. Right guys, so this is where we come to stay cool in 7-Eleven, and the best way to stay cool in the summer is to buy some water. Get your hydration levels up, and there's loads of cool drinks here. I mean, these are all sugary drinks and milks and things like that, but I tend to go to this, and all the prices are really cheap guys. You can get anything from a litre to 22, but I think it goes even cheaper than that if you get the local water. I believe as of today, which is the 1st of May, it is 13 baht. That's the cheapest you can get for 7-Eleven water, and look how cold and chilled that is guys. Absolutely freezing. I mean, this is a convenience store, don't forget, so these are elevated prices, right? And that price is still pretty damn cheap for a convenience store. They've also got loads of different fizzy drinks here, other sugary, some energy type drinks here, your standard Coca-Colas, some more energy drinks, and these are the real Thai energy drinks. We can probably do a vlog of these one day, because these are all the kind of Red Bull style Thai drinks which people know about, really famous. And then you've got all the nice cold coffees as well. So I think I might take one of these, and one of my favorites actually, a cold triple espresso. And then you've got the alcohol, which is only allowed to be sold during 11 till 2 and 5 till midnight. So there you go, and we can probably do a video about why that is later on. Now let's go to one other thing that I want to show you. So you've got some ice creams here, which if you're familiar with in 7-Eleven, do a pretty good amount of ice creams. This is one of my favorites, the Kit Kat Milo. What's your favorite ice cream guys? If you come to 7-Eleven or in general, what's your favorite ice cream? I am partial to a cornetto, so I've taken these I've pretty much had every single one here. And I even had this guy. This is a cheese bar, but don't be fooled, it doesn't taste like cheese. I thought it tasted like cheese, it just looks like a piece of cheese. And all the prices are pretty good there. You're gonna get stuff from like 35 to 40 baht, very cheap. And I'm gonna buy some ice, because the place we're staying at, the ice machine keeps breaking, and I'm sick of asking the landlord to fix it, so I'm gonna buy some emergency ice. And here is your machines where you can buy these Gulp machines, so these big gulps you can buy. You can see these in 7-Eleven in the US as well. That's the bigger size that comes in Thailand, which is a 32 ounce. That's probably a small size in the US, but there you can get some cold coffees as well, and then there's some room temperature waters. Now if you haven't seen this, this is a lifesaver. So these are wet wipes, and you can get two sizes of wet wipes. You can get this size of wet wipe, which is 29 baht, which is I think a bit less than $1, and it's basically alcohol free, chloride free, and it's wet, and it's just like if you go out on a day out and you want to have a wet cloth. Like this thing was introduced to me by my friend DJ AK many years ago, maybe like 20 years ago, when we used to do Muay Thai training, and he used to buy these after the training class, and these are like heaven in your hand, literally heaven in your hand. So I'm not going to buy any now, but if you are out and about with your family, or you know, wherever you're just hot and sweaty, this thing here will save your life. So yeah guys, my first piece of advice would be basically stay under the shade. Get away from the sun as much as you can. Now, I know if you're from the UK, or if you're from any country where you don't get a lot of, you know, sunlight all the time, your first thing is like, I just want to get out in the sun. Let's put on a vest, let's put on a t-shirt, let's get out, let's get a tan, which is all good and well, right? But that's because you're chasing the sun for like 2 days of the year, possibly, right? If that. When you're in Thailand, you've pretty much got 24 hours a day. Oh, sorry, not 24 hours a day. You've got sun every single day for every single day of the year, right? You know, there's no point in going out and getting burned and stuff like that and looking older than you really should be. So there's no point in going out every day exposing your nice, soft, young looking skin, is it young, I don't know, to the sun, to get affected by the sun. Stay under the shade, guys. So that is my first big piece of advice. Right guys, so the second piece of advice is this wonderful invention. It's called a fan. Yes, and this is a ceiling fan which you get on a lot of houses in Thailand. And then you've got the fan's big brother, the AC unit. And this, my friend, is your best way to cool down if you're not in a 7-Eleven or inside a shop. These things, and you'll usually see this brand a lot, it's called THAIGER Denki, or there are other brands obviously like Samsung and LG, but here in Hua Hin, this is I think one of the main brands, and this is a lifesaver. So we put this on for about 15 to 16 degrees Celsius, which may seem cool for many, but trust me, that is nice and crispy when the weather outside is 40 plus. Now, you may be thinking, do I put this on by itself, or do I put this on by itself, or do I combine both together? Let's go and check it out. Right guys, so there is an article from the THAIGER, which is a famous newspaper organization right here in Thailand, that actually talks about combining a fan with an aircon unit, and this was done by an experiment by someone on YouTube, which I will link here in the description. But it basically says that they conducted an experiment for 9 hours a day from 8 till 5 p.m. and they calculated the amount of electricity cost, which is roughly around 4.4 baht per unit, and the findings were really impressive. So I think the video's got over 720,000 views. So when the air conditioner is set to 25 degrees Celsius, it runs at 8.58 amps. However, by increasing the temperature to 27 degrees Celsius and using a fan, the amperage drops dramatically to 4.36 amps. So that's roughly half of what you use. So basically it's saying you have to combine the AC unit with the fan to keep it nice and cool, and that's what we do here where we live. We have multiple fans on. We have one, depending on how many fans we have in the room, but it could be one or maximum two, and we have the AC on. So we do chop and change. It does get cold sometimes, so we turn the AC off and keep the fan on. It just depends on how comfortable we're feeling. But one thing I want to know is, does anyone here in Thailand have an AC unit that has a timer on it? Because I have yet to experience one that has a timer. Now, we've all stayed in Thailand hotels before, and we have all been left feeling guilty for leaving those aircon units on, because I really don't want to waste electricity. I hate doing that. But what is worse than going out and coming back to a steaming hot room? Like, you want to go out, you want to come back to a nice chilled room. So I have been guilty of leaving the aircon on for hours just to get that cool temperature coming back in. I feel really bad in saying that, but why don't these hotels and places have a timer? If they had a timer, I would just keep the timer on when I come home, 10 minutes before, nice and cool. So guys, if you've actually experienced an AC unit with a simple timer, please let me know. And let me just tell you about the cost. What it costs for a family of 4, for me personally, it's roughly 15,000 Thai baht per month, and that's the cost of electricity in general, right? That doesn't include, that's not just the sole cost of the AC, but the AC is probably the biggest consumer of energy. And how do we pay that if you're interested? Well, we have this little receipt here. Now, this is issued by the PEA, which is the Provincial Electricity Authority, and it comes in these weird little receipt things, which I find really strange, and they pop this in your letterbox and they expect you to pay it. So I don't know if it's direct, you guys can do direct debit, I don't think so, but we get this bill and you can download the app and pay for your bill online. It's pretty easy. It's not the most easy thing to set up because the instructions are actually in Thai, so you're gonna have to convert it, but it's very easy once you use Google Translate and set it up. So you're only probably worried about that if you're owning or you're renting a property for long term. If you're doing a short term property, usually your landlord will take care of the electricity. Maybe it's included in the price, especially if it's a hotel. Generally, you're not paying for aircon, it's included in the price of the hotel. But if you're paying it separately, that is how you do it. You pay online on the app. It can go directly to the bank, or you can go to the physical offices, which I have seen. There is one in Hua Hin right here. It's on Phet Kasem Road. It says PEA outside, and I'm sure you can go in there and pay it. But to be honest, just get that stuff done online. And my third, right? Can I even do that? My third piece of advice is this thing here. Shower. Very simple. Stay nice and cool by having cool showers. Look, you're probably thinking, why am I in the shower with a hat on and a t-shirt? Of course, I'm not gonna show you showering because you guys know what showering is, but here is the shower in our house and we have it on cold, right? Not like Joe Rogan where we have these ice cold showers every morning, but generally, even if you put the cold showers on at the coldest temperature during the summer months like now, it's just roughly a little bit warm. It's just like having a nice cool, you know, pool of water on you, and this is what we do to keep cool. So let's have a look at what the shower looks like when it's on. So there you go, guys, nice cool shower, just showing you, going all the way down. Now the water quality in Hua Hin is pretty good. You don't get that much lime scale. We lived in where did we live before? We lived in Spain before, in Valencia, and the lime scale there was absolutely diabolical. But here the lime scale was quite minimal where we live anyway. So some people have water purifiers up there. We don't really need one. We don't really care for one because the water quality for washing at least is good. For drinking is different. So there you have it, guys. That is my 3 pieces of advice how to stay cool right here in Thailand, specifically in Hua Hin. Stay under the shade, right? That is number 1. Stay under shade. Stay away from the sunlight as possible. It is good in the short term to get that sunlight exposure, but not every day, okay? Get that sunblock on, go inside a shop, wear a hat, wear some glasses, stay covered up. Even some people, as you would see before, wear long sleeve shirts just to stay, you know, away from the sun. You'll see those drivers, those not Uber drivers, those Grab drivers, those line drivers completely masked up all the way up here looking like bank robbers, and you think they're crazy, they're hot. Trust me, they would rather be hot and sweaty than get that dark skin. And the second piece of advice, stay cool in a fan zone. Stay away from the heat outside, come inside, get those fans on, put the AC on. Yes, it can be expensive if you're paying for yourself, so you can turn it on, turn it off as and when you want, right? But have that combination of the fan and the AC at the same time. And third, have those cold showers. I have maybe 2 to 3, minimum 2 a day, 3, 4 sometimes, right? It just depends on what activities I'm doing. I'll wake up, I'll have a cold shower. I'll go out during the day, I'll come back and have a cold shower. I might go out during the evening, have a cold shower. I'll go to the gym in the evening, after the gym I'll have a cold shower. So sometimes it's between 3 to 4 a day. If I'm not being very active, it's only 2, but those showers are always cold. So guys, thank you for watching the channel. If this is your first time, please don't forget, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, engage with the audience. Tell me, what would you do if you were here in Thailand when it's so hot? Would you go back home? Would you stay? Would you take some advice? Do you have any other advice to give me or the viewers of this channel? If so, please do comment down below. Guys, once again, thank you for supporting the channel, and we'll see you soon.